Would you like a graphics card that's in stock? The answer is almost certainly yes. But as you know, we're gonna have to jump through a few different hoops to get there, probably about 10 at this rate, with one arm tied behind your back, and you're only allowed to hop. In this box, however, I may well have the solution. I've been on the blower, I have confirmed that there are actually stock of RTX graphics cards available. Granted, not very many. So let me explain as we dive deep into this rabbit hole after a short word from this video's sponsor. Corsair's HS80 RGB is the gaming headset you need in your setup. This wireless headset packs truly incredible sound quality, with 50mm drivers and spatial audio thanks to Dolby Atmos. Choose between hyper-fast slipstream wireless for tether-free movement, or crank the quality to a whole new level over wired. Get yours today with that link down below. Our journey begins then with this, which is an Intel NUC. This is the press kit that they have sent out. It is actually a very small system, but they've sent it in such a ridiculous box. And this in itself is actually pretty cool, because essentially the whole idea with this is that you're going to be getting a ridiculously small system that is just as powerful really as like your main desktop rig. This is a desktop replacement. You can customize this how you want. You could build it yourself or get someone else to do it for you. And all in all, it's pretty much your one-stop shop for the ultimate PC gaming package in something that is just ridiculously small. The technical name for this is the Intel NUC 11 Extreme, and this actually refers to the sort of base unit itself. So this is all built up around what we call a NUC. If you look at the back, it looks a little bit like a graphics card actually, and it sort of slots into place. And here you have all of your ports, your I/O, but then because this is the Extreme version, you can get a full-size desktop GPU, and you can actually place it in this chamber here. Also, stop the video for a second. I think I had the best title for this video. I was going to call it "The World is Not a NUC." Anyway, back to the video. Unlike a lot of ICX systems, this should be pretty easy to disassemble and upgrade as you see fit. If you're wondering what a NUC actually is, it stands for Next Unit Computing, and it's essentially a system on a chip. So you have one of the latest 11th generation Tiger Lake desktop/laptop sort of hybrids in this. The naming is very confusing, to be honest, because they're called like the 11700B or the 11900KB or the 11900B, which would make you think that they're very similar to the desktop versions, but they're not. They actually have a lot better performance per watt, but as this is only a 65-watt chip, the raw performance of this is going to be different to the proper desktop versions. I don't think by much, not for gaming anyway, but it is definitely something to bear in mind. So this back should gently remove. I'll try not to break it. There you go. And then the side panels will slide off, just like a normal PC case, to be honest with you. And then the same with the top. Yep, and then you can really start to see exactly what's inside here. So a full-size graphics card. Obviously this isn't the biggest, most powerful one out there, but you do actually have a fair bit of room. Ah, this is the bit that I couldn't do earlier when I was having a little play. You can really start to see how the modularity of this not only helps to clean up your system, but obviously enables that smaller size and smaller form factor. Let's remove the screw at the back to see exactly which RTX card we have. We can also see if we can upgrade it to something a little bit bigger, and bigger is better. Let's have a look. There we go. So this is an Asus 3060 Dual, which is probably a good bet for this case. I'm gonna see if I can get the 3070 Ti to work. This is only a 650-watt power supply, but as this is a bit of a larger card, I thought this would be a good illustration of success or failure. I have actually already realized that this is a massive fail, because of course this card works by venting hot air through this section of the card, which is then going to go into basically nothing. So thermally, this isn't a very good idea. But what about something more third party? This is the RTX 3060 Ti from Gigabyte, and this is a little bit of a bigger card in both length and width. So this is where things get a little bit murky. Let's try and fit this in. I'm not hopeful, but I could be wrong. No, that's just not going to fit, you see. It's just too wide. Sorry guys, it is dual slots only, I'm afraid. With the graphics card removed, you then get your first proper look at the NUC itself, which is this thing. All of your front I/O actually connects to the NUC itself. As suspected, we have this very cheap looking air blower cover type thing that allows it to breathe out of the back, or vent, just like I do when I get angry. It's raw! And then you can take the NUC itself out, but I think it's going to be a little bit easier if you want to see inside and ultimately make some upgrades yourself, or actually buy this bare bones and, well, start from scratch. Just unscrew the screws on the top, then the whole thing should just fall down like so. And then it's here that you can install your SSD for your boot drive, your SODIMM RAM, so not desktop RAM, you're using laptop memory here. You've got a Wi-Fi module on the left, and then your CPU is actually not socketed. This is the whole point of the NUC. It helps to reduce the size. This is just underneath this metal plate here. Full PC-centric teardown complete. Now let's put it back together again. But whoa, PC-centric, stop rabbiting on for a second. You said at the start of this video, somehow, this is going to help me get a graphics card, and so far you've just talked about Intel's new NUC. I'm not interested, mate. Forget it. Delete your channel. Well, actually, no. How about you delete your channel? Because the genius thinking here is that if you're looking to buy your own graphics card right now, standalone, it's very difficult. If you're looking to buy a brand new system, it's a fair bit easier, but it is still a little bit hit and miss. Now imagine the meme in your head of the big brain thinking. We go one tier down. Imagine buying a NUC from a NUC only or a small form factor PC reseller only, and then equipping it with an RTX 3060, which is exactly what we've got here. I have rung up a couple of companies, and one of them did actually have graphics cards in stock to order today. Obviously, stock levels and pricing is subject to change, and for that reason, I'm not going to link the retailer. I'll tell you who it is at the end of the video, but it's definitely an option that I hadn't really considered until this arrived. So I think the only last thing to do is to fire this thing up and actually test its performance. It's just a standard kettle lead to plug this in, so just like any other PC. And then in theory, it should turn on. We've got RGB, ladies and gentlemen. I did not expect that. If you're building this yourself, then it won't come preloaded with a copy of Windows. You'll need to add your own SSD, your own RAM, and obviously a graphics card if you're adding that. But if you're getting it from a system builder and it is preloaded, then pretty much this will happen. It will start rebooting a few times. You just follow the Windows instructions, and then you're pretty much ready to get gaming. Okay, here we are. Let's get started. This is, of course, some Fortnite running at 1440p, epic preset. And right off the bat, as you can see, the performance of this thing is really pretty impressive. I mean, our limiting factor here is definitely the RTX 3060, but even then, we're still getting around about 100, 120 frames a second. No! I was trying to talk to the camera! The only thing I have noticed is that this isn't the quietest system out there. I mean, this is to be expected. It's pretty standard, really, for smaller form factor systems, but it's not too bad at all, to be honest with you. The CPU, when that's fully maxed out, that is definitely a lot louder than the graphics card, the RTX 3060, but of course it is going to depend exactly on what card you're going to put in this. Next up, it's time to properly put this thing through its paces with the most demanding game on PC right now, some Cyberpunk 2077. This is actually running not quite at max settings. This is ray tracing ultra, so just one below Psycho, running at 1440p with DLSS set to the balanced preset. You think just how demanding this title is? I think the fact that this can run it at all is really quite impressive, but with a frame rate around about 40 FPS, it's not necessarily what I would choose to play it with. So by turning ray tracing off, you can see our frame rate will skyrocket to a much more impressive 60 FPS. Okay, we might not be able to sustain this. I think anywhere between 50 and 60 is realistic, but this is definitely a good way to play the game. It definitely should be noted, however, that this is the top version of the NUC with the i9 processor, and you can get this in different flavors, so like an i7 and an i5. I don't think the i9 is necessary for a 3060. I'd probably go for the i7 version myself, but obviously depending on what you want to do with it, and I guess how long you want it to last, should factor into your decision. Remember, you can't upgrade the CPU. And I'm once again getting too close to the camera. Look at those pearly whites. I'm sorry I don't have American teeth, okay? Our final title is the one that I'm actually playing right now. This is Far Cry 6, and this is actually running not quite at max settings. This is the ultra presets with FSR at 1440p, but with ray tracing disabled. The reason that I've been choosing to play it like this is just because it is a first-person shooter, and I think having the best level of fluidity matters more than outright image quality. I'll tell you what, we do a real-world difference and test for you. At the moment, we've got 94 FPS with no ray tracing on whatsoever. We'll scroll all the way down to the bottom to extended features, and we'll turn on both reflections and shadows, but obviously you don't have to have both of these on if you want to have a slightly higher frame rate but some extra eye candy. And you can see that our frame rate has now gone down to around about 74 frames a second. So that's what, about 15 to 20 FPS difference probably. Realistically, I don't think you're going to see a huge difference anyway, especially once you get into some firefights, but it is definitely nice to know that you have a system that can use all of these extra features. Let me know your thoughts on the Intel NUC 11 Extreme down in the comment section below. Would you go for something that is as small as this, or would you rather wait and get a full-size system? Obviously, I can't guarantee that there are going to be many of these, but the couple of stores that I looked at was Simply NUC and iCubes. At least that's here in the UK, but ultimately this is just an idea. Maybe it's a terrible one. Let me know down in the comment section below. Smash the like button if you've enjoyed this video. Get yourself subscribed. While you're down there, don't forget to check out Corsair's awesome new HS80 RGB wireless headset. Packing slipstream technology for lag-free audio, the HS80 RGB is not only supremely comfortable, but it lasts for up to 20 hours on a full charge, with a whopping 60 feet of maximum range. Hear every footstep with spatial audio, and broadcast to the world with the omnidirectional microphone. Learn more today with that link down below. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I'll catch you in the next one.